158 in Drushim L'Sukkos and Likutai Torah. Okay, 158 in Likutai Torah, Drushim L'Sukkos, second column. Okay, it says, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. We started the Maim on 156. That Maim we started before Yom Kippur. Okay, you know what? We're going to start quickly from the beginning. Of 156, first column. Shafta Maim B'Sas Mani Yeshua. Ksiv, it says, B'yem HaShmini Atzeres T'yalachem. On Shmini Atzeres it says it should be a holding back for you. Period B'chol, Shana Yom Krivim L'Agab Mizbeach. Every year, a whole year, they brought down the Mizbeach. They brought all the animals. The fire came down from heaven, looking like a lion, and consumed them. Yet the Chag HaSukkos, in addition to that, they used to pour water on the Mizbeach. And they poured water all 7 days. But Yom HaShmini Atzeres T'yalachem, it's a holding back from all these many korbanos. Sukkos, they brought many korbanos. Shmini Atzeres was parachod, ayal echad, no water, just one korban, or one of a few. And it says, now that we don't have a Beis HaMikdash, we don't have a Mizbeach, everybody has to find these things within themselves. To understand how do we have all the Avedis of the Beis HaMikdash, meaning where's the Mizbeach within us, where's the sacrifices, where's the pouring of the wine, pouring of the water, and so on. He says, because Chayiv Adam being benafshi, because just like there was a fire that fell down from heaven, so every person has to find within themselves a fire, a godly fire that consumes the animalistic things within them. They have to find within themselves the pouring of the water on Sukkot and the Shmini Atzeres. In the Amr Chazal tell us this. All we learned already. Tefillah is connected to Midim Tiknum. Davening is instead of Karbonis. What's the connection between Karbonis and davening? The Aved of the heart is davening. Valev is connected to Mizbeach, and the heart represents the Mizbeach. Just like in the Beis HaMikdash, there was the external Mizbeach, the internal Mizbeach. The same thing in the heart of the person as Chitzeni is a level, Pnim is a level. There's the external and the internal. Okay, you have to skip the brackets, like 6 lines. Where did they bring the korbanos? Not on the inner Mizbeach. They brought the korbanos on the external Mizbeach. The same thing, davening, which is instead of the korbanos, you have to burn the fire on your Mizbeach. Meaning, to awaken this natural love within us, meaning, the fire that came down from heaven, on a personal level, Alter Rebbe says, is the natural inborn love that every Jew is given from above. Not what we create the love. Every Jew is born within the Neshama. It has this level of love. It's the external level of the heart, which is that's the level of the fire from above. To burn the korbanos. You have to skip like 10 lines. You should follow in the way of Hashem, like a roaring lion. So you see that the pasuk uses the expression, you should follow Hashem, meaning love Hashem, like a roaring lion. Because that's the concept of the fire that looked like a lion that came down in the days of Shlomo Melech. So this is the fire from above that every Jew has within them. This is the ava that's burning within the person. When he remembers godliness, that he doesn't want to be separated, God forbid, from Hashem. And it says, Hashem is a consuming fire. That's Eish Chelas. Eish is said of a Machalev Kolo Ishim. Just like the fire burns animals. What does it mean in a spiritual sense? The neshama's love burns all the animalistic temptations, which are not godly, not in the service of Hashem. Hanikra b'shem eish zara, which is called the foreign fire. It should only be a fire for Hashem. It should be a holy fire that wants and burns and is thirsty for godliness. The what?
Throughout the says we refer to love as a fire. Isn't fire usually mixed with gevura and yira?
As a rule, fire is gevura. But there's two types of love. The Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya. There's ava aza kirish beish. There's a distant love. When you're close to somebody, you don't have a burning love to be with them because you are with them. That's called ava b'tainugim. That's the level of ava, of pleasure. That's the level it's called mayim, by the way. That level of ava is called mayim because you're there. When you don't have, like yesterday, in kippur, you don't have a drink. That's when you're thirsty, you thirst for it, you desire for it, you're burning for it. When you don't have it. When you're close to something, you don't have a burning desire to have it because you're there, and it's there. Bread is there. You want to eat it, eat it. You don't have a hunger to food. You just eat it. Like the Gemara says, a guy that has bread in his basket is never hungry. The Gemara says, if you have bread in your basket, you're not hungry. Why? Because whenever you want, go eat it. When are you thirsty or hungry? When you don't have it. So there's a level of avo when a person realizes the distance from Hashem. So that love is a burning love. And therefore he says, before davening. Because since he wants to eat he has to be on a very lofty level, greater than the food. In Yiddishkeit, it's like this. If I want to use something for the right purposes, that means I need to be greater than it, and I need to be able to control it, where I'm utilizing it for. So therefore, he says, you're not allowed to eat, because in order to eat properly, l'shem shemayim and all that, you need to be higher than the food. If not, the food drags you down. So in order to elevate the food, you need to be higher than the food. And you didn't daven yet. If you didn't daven yet, you're not on that level, which is higher than the food yet. Because it's before davening. You didn't bring your korbanos yet. You didn't burn the nefesh habamis. So then the eating is going to be a physical desire instead of ruchnius. So then when he's worried about parnas and everything else, he's bound all the way down and he falls to the gashmistic levels. So then, he's not any different than the bread. The famous story with the Maggid once showed the Chassidim a vision, and it was an ox with a shtreimel on it. For the Chassidic fur hats. So he explained that there was a chassid who dressed, in Chassidic garb, but he was eating meat. And he was so engulfed, involved in the meat, so he became a behemoth. Because that's where his whole essence was, in the meat. So he became a behemoth. The garments of Shabbos don't change, so it was a behemoth wearing a shtreimel. So he's a fresser. So he said that can't be before davening. Because before davening, you didn't do the mizbeach stuff. You didn't burn your korban, you didn't burn your yitzhara. So how in the world are you going to control the bed? And this is the David of the person in davening, to burn the pleasures of the worries of parnasa. Just like when they burnt on the mizbeach. They burned they burnt fine flour for the flour offering. In other words, like this. Not that you shouldn't want parnasa. He said, you need to make a living. The Torah says you need to make a living. What it means is the being overly indulged in parnasa, that everything is parnasa and what you have to do for it, rather than realizing you make a vessel and Hashem does the parnasa, and therefore you need parnasa, but your whole essence is not in the parnasa because you realize that it's all coming from God.
Rabbi, Dagan has the word
Huh?
daga in it.
What?
Dagan has the word daga in it.
Yeah, but daga is, that dog means fish. Daga is with an olive. I don't know. Aber daga should the mate with the God said. This is coming from the fire of the Nefesh Habamis, Asher Zehu Eish Zora, which is a foreign fire, and therefore you have to burn it, the desire of Parnasa. You need to burn in the fire of above. Okay, this is, by the way, where we're up to. Base. So there's a fire, the Alter Rebbe explained, in the Mizbeach of the Jew, in the heart of the Jew, there's a natural instinctive love that he's born with because he's a Jew, and that is the fire from above. But it wasn't enough in the Mizbeach. The Torah says you have to bring a fire from the Hedyot. We have to bring our own fire. If there was a fire coming from God, why do you need anything? There's nothing better than that. Why do you need to bring your own fire, your own wood, what's wrong with the fire ones? He said, even though the fire came down from the mizbeh, from above, mitzvah lahavi min hahedyot. You have to bring from the regular people. The Alter Rebbe explains, in order to make a vessel for the godly fire to come down and to hold it and to keep it, we need to create a human fire. The human fire is the vessel for the godly fire. So he says like this, love and in to understand what this means. What does it mean, fires, and we have to prepare our own fire, and then Hashem brings on His fire. So he says like this, Hashem is called the ones that plant tzedakah, matzmiach yeshuas. He makes grow salvations. And you have to understand, it says like this. Yuvan beg the Mashakos, the Pasuk says, Smeili tachas reishi. His left side is under my head, v'yamini techabgeni. And Hashem hugs me. What does it mean? V'yamini techabgeni, what does it mean Hashem's right hand hugs us? Shenim shekol kach b'chinis chesed yamina. It comes down such an abundance of chesed from above. V'yamin mekareves. And the right side brings, like we learned, the right hand brings you together and the left hand pushes you away. That the love of Hashem, meaning this revelation from Hashem, that we feel godliness, comes down in such a great way that our only desire is for godliness. Like it says, Am Kreve, where the close nation, to the extent, the Pasuk says, Hashem's right hand, right represents a revelation of kindness, of chesed. It's so there that it actually hugs us. What happens when you hug somebody? When you hug somebody, you become one with them. And that you can't separate from them. It comes down such a level of Hashem, in a way that Hashem hugs us, that we become actually mamish one with Hashem. Not to become separated from Hashem. So this is what we say. Hashem should hug us, meaning Hashem should reveal so much chesed, so much relationship and closeness, that we mamish become one with Hashem. But he says, but in order to reach such a level, in order to come to Yamini Techabgeni, you need first to push away the evil. After you push away the evil, then you can have this revelation of godliness. Why? He says, what does it mean, Smel Deichem? It pushes away the person. When a person puts to their heart, means they not only understand it, but they feel it. When a person feels, meaning like this, we're telling Hashem, do me a favor, reveal your tremendous level of love to us. The problem is, the person then realizes, How can I expect Hashem to reveal His love to me? I am so far away from Hashem. Where's He coming to? This all comes from a sitter, the smell of Canada. The Velashia Bechina smell Shakarish Baruch Atmi Adech Chas V'Sholim. Meaning like this. Hashem's left hand doesn't push anybody away. Why? Because it says in the pasuk, no person is personal. Like we learned in the Rosh Hashanah Maimed, the Shefer Godel awakes the Evdim v'Nidachim. Even the people pushed away. Yeah, Hashem doesn't push anybody away.
But left is Gevura, no?
Left is Gevura, but by Hashem, less smaller by Atik, in the level of Atik, in the level of godliness, there's no smell. There's no pushing away. What happens when that left level of Hashem comes down, 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 then it becomes a pushing away. Then it becomes Kashiyot and Malibe. That Venim Shechanishtal Shalamat, Bechinas Tachas L'Reishi. Petersh, Kashani Neito Bechinazu. When I take this level, Am Shechlamat Tachas L'Reishi. Okay, so he says, I'll try to sing a phenomenal concept. God doesn't push anybody away. We push ourselves away. He says, Hari ani ba'atzmi hu adeichel mashbel asatzmi madrega sheyisim mechazi atzmi beina mitchila. He says like this. You have yamini techabgeni. In order to have yamini techabgeni, you first need smell l'tachas reishi. I mean, you smell deicha. You need the level of smell. He says, but not chas v'sholem. Hashem pushes us away. The Jew, by becoming this level of smell, that they take that level of gvura, of godliness, and they lower it all the way down, that he lowers himself from the level he was before, then he pushes himself away. In other words, like we said many times, when you educate children, when you're supposed to educate children, I think we mentioned this the other day. If a kid leaves a toy out, okay, and the parent says, okay, you don't clean up, you don't have the toy anymore. Yeah, that's the proper way of educating. Crime fits the punishment fits the crime. The kid doesn't put away the toy, he doesn't have it anymore. But the kid needs to understand it's not the parent punishing the kid. The parent is not punishing the kid. By the kid leaving the toy uncleaned up, he is punishing himself. He is not allowing him to have the toy. It's a whole different world. That works, by the way. Because then the kid understands it's not my parent. He's not the bad guy. I am doing it to myself. He says when a person pushes himself away from Hashem, Hashem doesn't push away anybody. It's up to us to be close to Hashem or to be far from Hashem. So that's up to us. And he says that all the viduyim of Yom Kippurim, that's all the confessions of Yom Kippur. Shem izvadim al nafshe, we confess. And we say, Serdadnu, of Ta'avnu, all the, we turned away and we disgusting and all that. Shem ashpilim ezatim l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ed. That we, if you mean it, that you say that we're takad nothing before Hashem. Maybe many use Baruch the way we're very far from Hashem, but that we were the ones that did it. This itself, that's what the Alter Rebbe is saying here. When we realize how far we are away from Hashem, that causes the love of thirst, that we become thirsty to be at Hashem. Because like we said, yes, you don't have food, you're hungry. Right? You don't have godliness, so then you're thirsted. When you realize, by the way, that not having godliness is a problem. Because, okay, I don't have godliness, no problem. If a person realizes that no godliness is a problem, and they realize how far they are away from Hashem, not that Hashem is far from us. Hashem is never far from a Jew, like you said. Even the level of Gvura Hashem doesn't push a Jew away. But when the Jew realizes that my actions cause me to be far away from Hashem, and look how far away from Hashem, that itself awakens the Yamini Techabgeni, the love that Hashem should give to us. And he'll reach through this. which comes to the Yom Tov of Sukkos. And he's going to explain why why Sukkos is the level of the Av of Hashem to the Jew. What does it mean Zereh Tzedakah? What does it mean he plants tzedakah? It says like this. Hine Knesset Yisrael, the Yidden are called tzedakah. Like the pasuk says, B'tzedakah to Kainani. You establish me with tzedakah, v'gam klolis Yisrael lamata. Malayim mitzvahs tzedakah v'chesed. Jews are full of tzedakah and chesed. They're full of mitzvahs, they're full of tzedakah and chesed. Like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, interestingly, this generation, the schus of this generation over the Tanoim and Amiroim and the earlier generations is a mitzvah of tzedakah. In those days, they didn't have the opportunity to give tzedakah. It wasn't their thing. It was learning and davening. Nowadays, the Alter Rebbe says the schus of the itvus of the Mashiach, the door before Mashiach, is a level of tzedakah. Ubaser yisimei teshuva is a level of planting. The aser yisimei teshuva, when we confess and do teshuva, that's the planting. Kamei agad and shitzoyden. And just like a seed that you plant. How do you plant a seed? You first have to plow. What does plowing do? It softens up the earth. If you take a seed and put it on hard dirt, it's not going to grow. The earth has to become softened. It's not going to... So in other words, in order to plant tzedakah, the Jew needs to loosen up a little bit. What's the loosening up? Aser Yimei teshuva. A little confession, a little bittul, a little distance, a little...
So it's the Yesem Shua, it softens up the earth. Yom Kippur is the planting?
No, the planting is Aser Yimei teshuva.
So what is Yom Kippur?
1 minute. God kol hamitzvah tzedakah v'chesed in Yisrael eitzim misaglim kol yemei shana. He says, therefore, all the tzedakah mitzvahs we do all year, it's not going to plant, it's not going to make fruit l'mayla, only through the level of aser yimei teshuva, shemishabrim es libam, they break their heart, v'deichen mashpilim es atzmam, and they make themselves like dirt. Shenachrash b'chinas chrisha, it's from the level of plowing, the marpa'ara that the Gemara says softens the ground. Meaning like this. Even though, by the way, the Rambam writes that tzedakah, nochas tshuva, the Rambam writes that all this tshuva is good a whole year. Tshuva works a whole year. But Aser Yimei teshuva is more the season. That dir Hashem b'motzi when Hashem is close. So the Alter Rebbe says, all the mitzvahs that we do year round actually becomes elevated through the Aved of Aser Yimei teshuva, which is the time of confession and sin, and teshuva and all that. Then it loosens up the earth, and then Aser Yimei teshuva is when it happens. And it's interesting. The whole concept, v'nafshi ka'afala, what we say in Shemona Esrei, right at the end, v'nafshi ka'afala kol tiyah, p'sach libi b'ser asacha. So a few interesting things. B'chlal, there's a question. The Jews that are alive when Mashiach comes, are they going to die right before Tchis HaMesim? It's a whole discussion. Are they going to die and then get up right away, or they're not? They're just going to stay up because there is an Inyan offer atav al offer toshuv. The Torah says you have to go back to the ground. So the way the Rebbe learns is two things. First of all, it says they're going to die and right away get up. But the Rebbe says there's another possibility. The level of offer toshuv, of going back to the dirt, could be the level of nafshi ka'afar lakol tihiyah. When a person reaches a level of bittul, that he feels like dirt, that everybody steps on, not in a negative way, but just a level, because the offer is what produces everything in the world. So it's not it's the potential. But he said, and secondly, the Rebbe says a very interesting thing. In Likutai Torah we say, v'nafshi ka'afar lakol tihiyah, so simply the world learns the pshat. There's two different things. Nafshi kavah lakol tiyah, period. Again, in the siddur is a period. And then we ask another request. Psach libi b'seir asacham. The Rebbe explains no. The nafshi kavah lakol tiyah is the prerequisite and the preparation for psach libi b'seir asacham. because it doesn't say, l'cheda, you don't learn Torah with your heart. You learn Torah with your brain. No, l'cheda. I mean, so what do you mean, psach libi, open my heart? It's not, what do you mean heart? We should say psach sichli, moichi, my brain, my seichel. What do you mean? Open up my heart in the Torah. And same thing before Shema, we say zembli beinu, bina, lahavin lahaskil. What is bina? How does heart get to bina? Even though Pasach Liyah said bina liba v'aliv maven, but the Rebbe explains, in order to open up the heart, that the person feels Torah, not a knowledge that, the knowledge is one thing, doctors. The knowledge is one thing, and the way they feel and do is something else. They'll tell you it's wrong medically, and they'll eat it themselves or do it. In order for a person to feel Yiddishkeit, feel Torah mitzvahs, so then the prerequisite and the preparation and the introduction and is the level of nafshi ka'afal or kotia. When you have the level of bittul, then you're able to ask Hashem, now open up my heart in Torah that I should also feel it. And here the Alter Rebbe is saying that the Seisimei Tshuva is the plow dirt level. But again, it doesn't have to be only 10 days. It could be a whole year, but it's just easier, the Rambam says, to do it in these 10 days. The same thing we find by people give tzedakah. People have to understand this. You want to know when you give tzedakah properly? He says, when you make yourself like dirt. He said, if a person thinks there's something they're only going to give when I have leftover money that I don't have anything to buy with it, then I'll give tzedakah. He says proper tzedakah is when you feel like it says tzedakah mishpat u'tzedakah beyakiv atasisa. There's mishpat and tzedakah. Yeah, so it says the Expedia explain, but in this form it says first you make a judgment on yourself how much you deserve. And the rest you give to tzedakah. Not after I have everything I need and everything. Then when I have leftover money, okay, I might as well give it to tzedakah. He said that's not called people that give tzedakah. He says, but AC tzedakah, they were not going to give unless if they make themselves like dirt. Meaning bittul. He's not going to give away what, when it hurts, like they say in English. You need to break. Okay.
Quick question. It seems like